Hi, my name is Aiden Carcano.
And my name is Matthew Sosa.
And you're watching the Bearcat News Network.
Today is Wellness Wednesday.
Will you please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now for the Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Okay, for this Wellness Wednesday, let's take a look at how stress impacts our brains.
Are you sleeping restlessly, feeling irritable or moody, forgetting little things, and feeling overwhelmed and isolated? Don't worry, we've all been there. You're probably just stressed out. Stress isn't always a bad thing. It can be handy for a burst of extra energy and focus, like when you're playing a competitive sport or have to speak in public. But when it's continuous, the kind most of us face day in and day out, it actually begins to change your brain. Chronic stress, like being overworked or having arguments at home, can affect brain size, its structure, and how it functions, right down to the level of your genes. Stress begins with something called the hypothalamus-pituitary-adrenal axis, a series of interactions between endocrine glands in the brain and on the kidney, which controls your body's reaction to stress. When your brain detects a stressful situation, your HPA axis is instantly activated and releases a hormone called cortisol, which primes your body for instant action. But high levels of cortisol over long periods of time wreak havoc on your brain. For example, chronic stress increases the activity level and number of neural connections in the amygdala, your brain's fear center. And as levels of cortisol rise, electric signals in your hippocampus, the part of the brain associated with learning, memories, and stress control, deteriorate. The hippocampus also inhibits the activity of the HPA axis, so when it weakens, so does your ability to control your stress. That's not all though. Cortisol can literally cause your brain to shrink in size. Too much of it results in the loss of synaptic connections between neurons and the shrinking of your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that regulates behaviors like concentration, decision-making, judgment, and social interaction. It also leads to fewer new brain cells being made in the hippocampus. This means chronic stress might make it harder for you to learn and remember things, and also set the stage for more serious mental problems like depression and eventually Alzheimer's disease. The effects of stress may filter right down to your brain's DNA. An experiment showed that the amount of nurturing a mother rat provides its newborn baby plays a part in determining how that baby responds to stress later in life. The pups of nurturing moms turned out less sensitive to stress because their brains developed more cortisol receptors, which stick to cortisol and dampen the stress response. The pups of negligent moms had the opposite outcome, and so became more sensitive to stress throughout life. These are considered epigenetic changes, meaning that they affect which genes are expressed without directly changing the genetic code. And these changes can be reversed if the moms are swapped. But there's a surprising result. The epigenetic changes caused by one single mother rat were passed down to many generations of rats after her. In other words, the results of these actions were inheritable. It's not all bad news though. There are many ways to reverse what cortisol does to your stressed brain. The most powerful weapons are exercise and meditation, which involves breathing deeply and being aware and focused on your surroundings. Both of these activities decrease your stress and increase the size of the hippocampus, thereby improving your memory. So don't feel defeated by the pressures of daily life. Get in control of your stress before it takes control of you.
Here's some headlines from around the country and the world.
Students, please check your Central Campus account and complete the survey for the end of the year celebration.
Our spring sport seasons are just around the corner. Any student interested in participating in track, tennis, or soccer, please make sure you have your doctor's physical completed and turned into the athletic trainer. Practice start dates will be announced soon. For more information, please see Coach Jordan. Here is today's riddle.
Central, you know what time it is. It's time for Time Rewind.
It's Time Rewind for January 11th. Aviator Amelia Earhart wings her way into the record books in 1935 as she embarks on the first solo flight from Hawaii to California. She completes the 2,100-mile journey in just over 18 hours. The federal government had never mentioned anything about possible health risks associated with cigarette smoking until this day in 1964. Surgeon General Luther Terry makes the announcement.
Cigarette smoking contributes substantially to mortality from certain specific diseases and to the overall death rate.
Take me out to the ball game.
Baseball undergoes change in 1973 when the American League adopts the designated hitter rule. It means a team assigns a specific player to bat for the pitcher. Number 1 on the pop chart in 1986.
Say you, say me.
It's Lionel Richie with Say You, Say Me. That's Time Rewind. I'm David Mendel.
And that is your Bearcat news for today.